got here. And yes, it's N64 day. Welcome to the next episode of Complete Nintendo 64 Collection, where I'm collecting the entire Nintendo 64 set. All the North American games with the boxes and the manual. And if you didn't know, the box and the manual is the hardest part to get. And that's 296 games. We got some real whiz bangers, and we actually have one of the holy grails to show today. It's actually in this 2-game bundle. It's the bottom one that you can't see from this angle. So if you haven't seen this before, there are 3 rules that I follow. I'll put those down in the description below. With that said, let's go ahead and get on into the goodness. Ooh, retro games. So I am going to show you the holy grail piece at the end, or towards the end. That'll be one of the later games that I show in this episode. But just to get these 2 out of the way, I don't just love Nintendo 64. I am a child of the 80s, so I like all of the retro games. Not really into Atari and television, while I am familiar with them, but I do appreciate all retro games, especially Nintendo and the Sega ones. So just to show you for fun, I do have Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo. Cartridge is in really good shape. I got this off of a trading website where you trade your games for other people's games. So just thought I'd throw that in there so you know that I like more than just N64. And then this is one of my childhood favorites, Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse. Now, we absolutely had this game as kids. This is one of my favorite Sega Genesis games. And this is one of the best Disney games, and certainly, in my opinion, the best Mickey Mouse game. It does have the cartridge in there. Sega Mega Drive. This is actually the wrong cartridge. This is the wrong cartridge. It's supposed to say Sega Genesis, not Sega Mega Drive. Sega Mega Drive is the European version, so I'll have to follow up with the seller. Good thing I showed this on video, otherwise I may not have noticed that detail. And no manual, you bums. But I got this for dirt cheap. Literally, I gave them dirt for this, and they happily accepted. So, N64 games, let's get to the good stuff. Pink is not my favorite color, so I'm just gonna get this one out of the way. Pink boxes. Now the seller really did package that one up very, very safely. I always send people that I'm trading with or buying from messages telling them to put it in a cardboard box or flatten these boxes so they don't get creased. That person did a great job. I will show you the holy grail later in the episode. I don't know how it's going to turn out because I'll show you the packaging they put it in, and I was not very psyched about that. So Shadowgate 64. This is one of the uncommon boxed games for the Nintendo 64. Show you on the cover there. This isn't the kind of cover that's going to sell copies, let me tell you. Show you the back of the box. Now this is an RPG for the Nintendo 64. There were not a ton of RPGs, so that made this game a big deal. But because there were not a lot of RPGs, a lot of people didn't think of the Nintendo 64 as having RPGs, so not a lot of people bought RPGs on the Nintendo 64. Does that make sense? And we can see it does have this plastic on the case, but I can tell you right now, this is not the original plastic. We can see a cheap seam seal there, so someone used their own homemade sealer. So I'm probably just gonna pull that plastic off. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Get out of here. Also, just in feeling it and seeing it, it's absolutely not the original factory seal, beyond the obvious, because it's a different material. It's like some cheap, crappy material. But this box is in really good shape. It does have a little squish right there, but that's very minimal. So this box is in really good shape. Tiny bit of that kind of old-timey compression warping on the front and the back. Doesn't even stand up, but it will when I put it in a protective case. And then here we have the box insert. Here's the cartridge, previous movie rental, so it does have the stickers on it. Have you noticed? I've gotten previous Mega Movies cartridges before from the same seller. I don't know. Now I could scrub these off, but because it has that sticker along the back, there's even that security kind of metal piece. I'm just gonna go for a cart upgrade in the future, which is unfortunate because that label is gorgeous. But you know, being a rental, they didn't use the boxes, so it does have all the inserts. It's got the poster, it's got the registration card. Some people go crazy for these registration cards. Personally, I don't care. I'm very happy if it comes with the registration card in the box, but I don't need that. As long as it has the box and the manual, then I'm 99% happy. But if it does have the extra stuff, then I'm that extra 1% happy to make me super happy. Manual, previous rentals, so you can see this was in that box that they rented out all the time. So the manual's pretty worn, but other than that, This whole package is in really good shape. The box is what usually is the trickiest part to find. The cartridge is usually the easiest thing to find for any game. Manual is the second hardest to find. Box is the hardest to find. So Shadowgate 64, an uncommon, middle-priced game, but I got it for dirt cheap as always. I won't get it unless I can get it for the super price. Let's go ahead and move on to the next N64 games. Let's open up this big kahuna. And just so you know, this is a multi-game bundle that I got from Single Person, and they threw this manual in because they wanted to support the cause, or at least they liked that I collected N64. And then this is that 2-game bundle with the Holy Grail in it, which I'll show you later. No, the black cartridge is not the Holy Grail. That's just a normal game. Below that is the Holy Grail. I feel like I just pulled out someone's intestines. And here we have BattleTanx for the Nintendo 64. Now, you can probably tell the cartridge is not in very good shape, but what you probably don't realize, or you're about to learn when I tell you right now, is that as long as the sticker label is in great shape and the back sticker label is in great shape, I can clean this cartridge and make it look brand new. So I do have a video on how to clean retro games. I'll put the link to it down below. But I can clean both of these side pieces off and never even get close to the sticker. And since this front sticker is perfect, back sticker is perfect, I can make this cartridge look brand new. So because I got this box and cartridge bundle for literally super cheap, I wasn't even gonna pick it up just because the box is in rough shape. But for that price, I was like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. The price of this whole thing was like the same amount as the shipping cost, and the shipping cost was super cheap. So BattleTanx, definitely a game we had as kids. This game's really good. There is a sequel on the Nintendo 64, BattleTanx Global Assault. But I'm gonna talk about this one more in a future episode when I get the manual and maybe a box in a little bit better shape. So it does have that rip up there. This was a previous rental if it wasn't obvious from the cartridge. But BattleTanx is a great game. Looks like the 4-player. This reminded me of an arcade game that we used to play when we visited our cousins, where you sat like in the body of a tank, and every time you shot in the arcade game, the whole body moved back and forth, like from the movement of the cannon, like boom. So this game really reminded me of playing that in the arcade. It has that rental writing down there, rental writing. So the box is in, I would say, below average shape. I don't have the manual yet, and the cartridge is going to be beautiful shape. When I clean it, maybe I'll show it in a future episode how I made it look so beautiful. But dirt cheap BattleTanx, definitely an awesome game. I definitely recommend it. Let's move on to the next funds. Rampage World Tour. This is another game that I got off of a trading website. On that particular website, I'll just toss the name in there, leaptrade.com. It's not my favorite trading website, to be honest, but it allows you to trade your games in for credits, and then you can use those credits to buy other people's games. So it's a credit trading website. I've been using those for a long time. Leap Trade is kind of the only one that uses a credit system that's still doing okay. But someone actually sent me a complete in-box game, which has never happened on that website before. So I was super happy that they really did send the whole thing and not just the cartridge. They followed the rules of the website. Now the box, I would say, is in average condition, but I was not expecting to get this from a game trading website, so I'm super happy about that. It does have that squish. And honestly, I think that can be attributed partially because they just put this in a bubble wrap envelope. I never recommend doing that. Put it in a cardboard box. But we can see it has the squish on the side, a little squish on this side, and then, you know, relatively worn. But I don't have Rampage World Tour. Rampage is an awesome game. We had it on the original Nintendo, and we played that a whole ton. And now we have the 3D-ish, pseudo 3D version for the Nintendo 64. I haven't played it, but Rampage was one of my favorite games on the original Nintendo, so I'm just gonna make the assumption this one is at least very good, if not awesome. Manual's pretty worn, but like I said, I got this for an extremely low price since it was on a trading website. You could basically say I got this for free-ish. Has the box insert, and look at the cartridge. Look at that cartridge, so clean. Super happy about that. So there is a sequel to Rampage 2 on the Nintendo 64, and that's another game that I really want. Eventually I'll get the box upgrade and the manual upgrade for Rampage World Tour, but I just can't believe someone traded me a complete in-box from that game trading website, because usually people just trade like their crappiest doubles and sports games for retro consoles. So super happy that someone actually traded me something that I really wanted. So Rampage World Tour, definitely recommend it for the Nintendo 64, and I'm still looking for the sequel. It's almost time for that Holy Grail. We're gonna do that last, and I'll show you how they package it up. I wasn't very happy about that. But this was a multi-game bundle that I got from a single seller. And whenever I get the multi-game bundles, it's usually just dirt cheap, just stupid cheap. Let me get out the rest of the pieces. Careful, careful. Surgical. Now, just for fun, if you want to guess what manual they threw in, since I bought a 3-game bundle, and I let them know I'm collecting the whole set, so if they had anything else extra they wanted to toss in, I was like, go for it. This manual, this game came with the manual, and this game came with the manual, but this one did not. I actually just picked up the manual alone for this middle game, because now I have the complete set for Destruction Derby 64. And then here's the 3 boxes. Penny Racers, Rush, Destruction Derby. The manual that they threw in for free is Hey You Pikachu. And yes, you will see this on a future episode for sure. This game's got a ton of accessories. This is the game where you talk to Pikachu. So I really appreciate that they threw in that instruction manual. Penny Racers 64. Now, the reason why I bought this bundle in particular was because it was insanely cheap. The pictures were not that good, so you couldn't tell the exact quality, but I know what to look for. So as you can see, the boxes are in really great shape. You have to have that N64 eye to be able to tell from terrible pictures what condition everything is in. So we can see these boxes are crispy. It does have, you know, a little shot from a BB there or something, but everything is in really good shape, and I can see that. And Destruction Derby 64 was the main one I was after. I paid about, I'll just toss it at you. If you broke it down, including shipping, I paid about $5 each for each of these. So that's like about $15, a little less than $15 for this whole set. And while I do have Penny Racers already, because everything's in such good condition, I will mix and match the pieces for Penny Racers to make sure that the one that I keep has the best condition, and then I'll trade my duplicate to someone else for more N64 or retro game stuff. So I'll just skim through Penny Racers real quick, because I already showed it previous episode. Box is excellent, tiny bit of a little squiggle scramble down there, but the box is really, really good, especially since I got this for $5. That's unheard of. Go try to buy Penny Racers right now. It's not happening. Manual's mint, comes with a box insert, and then the cartridge is mint. This person doesn't collect N64. They don't care. They want to just get rid of it. And then San Francisco Rush. I don't believe I've covered this yet, which is funny because this is one of my favorite racing games for the Nintendo 64. We played this so much as kids, it's not even funny. So there are 3 Rush games on the N64, but San Francisco Rush and the second one were the ones we played the most. So very happy to have this game. The box is in beautiful shape except for that little punch up there in the corner, and it does not have that cardboard insert like I just showed you for Penny Racers. So dang it, give me that cardboard. Manual's mint, never even been opened. Cartridge is super, super clean. Look at that. So insane deal from the same person, doing the free manual. And then Destruction Derby 64. We had this for the PlayStation back when we were kids, so I haven't played it for the N64, but it's not a game that I had in any way, shape, or form. So this was the main one I was after in that bundle. And for $5, of course I'll pick it up, even if it doesn't have the manual. So this one does have some crunch damage. I'll show you in 1 second. Has a tiny bit of crease along there. Tiny bit of crease. Get your creases. And then along the top has, that's a pretty serious crunch. I wouldn't say serious, that's pretty diesel crunch. Pretty heavy crunch. But other than that, the box is in really good shape. No color fading, no sun fading. So Destruction Derby for the 64. I'm assuming it's just like the PlayStation game, but with a slightly higher graphic output. Nerd talk, get nerdy. So I'm really happy to have that. And like I said, I did pick up already, you'll see it in a future episode, a mega bundle of instruction manuals, and Destruction Derby was in there, and I believe it was $5. So now let's go ahead to the Holy Grail. I made you wait long enough. All right, so we actually have a pretty good story about this double game set. One of them is a Holy Grail. Let me just open up the packaging first, and I'll tell you the story about this one. Now, I don't know if you can tell yet what the Holy Grail game is. No, it's not Road Rash, but this will test your N64 knowledge. Now, if you were to show me like this picture right here, I can tell you exactly what the Holy Grail game is in there, even though I bought it. I just, I know these cover arts, I know this stuff. I'm a wild man, I belong in the jungle. So before I show you that, show you even less, one thing that I thought was pretty unfortunate, and we'll find out the condition of everything, is that this is what they shipped it in. So like I said, I always tell them, please put it in a sturdy cardboard box and fold the boxes flat. They did fold them flat, I'll give them that. If they hadn't folded these flat like I had asked, I'm pretty sure these would have been crushed and destroyed. But this is what they shipped it in. Just thin paper. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, whoever shipped in this one, hopefully it's not a good game. Of course, the Holy Grail, one of them for the N64, is in the flimsiest packaging of all time. So I'm just gonna go ahead and break it. I'm gonna tell you what it is. There it is. This is one of the top 5 Holy Grails for the Nintendo 64 complete in box. Can you pronounce that word? I'll give you a chance. Say it. Good job, but that's not right. The way that you pronounce this is Daikatana. So I'll show you the not as cool one, but still cool. This was a bundle deal. Essentially how it worked out, how this scenario played out was, I'm gonna keep the box art up here front and center, because that's the coolest part. That's the coolest part. So essentially how it played out was, let me get the cartridge. This person listed this Holy Grail here for the lowest price I had ever seen it on eBay. And keep in mind, I'm an eBay creeper. I creep on eBay. I check all the prices every day, and I have searches for the games that I'm really hardcore looking for. And I'm very patient. So this being one of the top 5 Holy Grails complete in box, I wanted it real bad, but there's no way I was going to pay the absurd price. And at the point of time in this video, these can sell for $200. Now, being the gadget god, otherwise known as my pseudonym, the Deal Devil, because I'm devilish with the deals. I find those deals you never heard of, and I find them all the time. So I didn't even want to do half. I was willing to wait for less than half. So the person actually, they listed this on eBay. I saw it in the morning. They listed it at like 5 a.m. and their price was less than half. Less than half. So you think I would just snap it up right then, because that's what I was waiting for, less than half of one of the top 5 Holy Grails. Well, being the gadget god, aka the Deal Devil, I sent them a message and I filled them in on the situation. I'm looking for N64 games, and I said, would you take, I think it was $15 lower than their asking price, and it was considerably less than half. So I do write down all the details of all my purchases and the prices that I paid. So I'm pretty sure in the last video, like the very last episode, once I complete the collection, maybe I'll let you know each price I paid for everything and what the whole set cost me. That's something that I'm debating, but it's not gonna happen anytime soon. So, but being the gadget god, I asked them, hey, would you take this amount for it? Which was even more less than half of the normal selling price. And they were like, yeah, I don't care. Buy this crap. So I was like, all right, you're the coolest. So because of that, I said, hey, I'll also buy one of your other games from you. So you saw in a previous episode, I had the Road Rash 64 with the box and the manual, and this box has sun fading, but I didn't have the cartridge yet. So now I have the cartridge. I'm gonna need the label upgrade eventually, because I don't want Blockbuster stickers all over mine. That will come off real easily, but I basically had them throw this in for certainly less than Road Rash 64 goes for, but I had them, throw this in so they could sell them both. They didn't care. They don't want these old games. They stumbled upon them in some sort of sale. So Road Rash 64, we already went over that one, but here it is, Daikatana. Now let's talk about Daikatana and the deal with Daikatana. So essentially, this was the first game from John Romero, there it is if you don't believe me. This was the first game that he was going to be making after he split from John Carmack, and the two of them are the people who made Doom and Wolfenstein. So they basically invented the first-person shooter. John Romero got pretty Hollywood, he was drinking a lot, he really bought into the fame. So John Romero's like, I'm gonna make my own company, Creative Differences, and I'm gonna make the best game you've ever seen. So this game, Daikatana, went through development hell. This game, it took 5 years at least, and it kept getting delayed, went way over budget. It is a first-person shooter, and we can see there. And this actually came out for the PC, so this was a super high-spec PC game, but the N64 was a beast at the time, and a lot of powerful PC games were getting ported to the Nintendo 64. So there's the little screenshot from the back of the box. Has the Blockbuster sticker on the bottom. Now, this game's not good. It's not the worst game ever, but it's not good. It's not fun. It's got terrible AI. Your companions are always getting stuck on walls, and you have to force restart your save, things like that. But as far as the box condition, it is really good because almost all of these that you see are Blockbuster rentals. As we can see here, it has that Property of Blockbuster sticker on the front, and then on the back it has Property of Blockbuster. But here's the thing about that. When you start getting into the top 5 holy grails, these Blockbuster stickers are actually something that people appreciate because it tells the history of the game, and it proves that that game is authentic. So as far as the box condition, I will just show you. The front is great, no sun fading. Since these are almost always Blockbuster rentals, the Daikatanas, there's just crazy sun fading and crushed boxes. This box has no sun fading, no creases, the tiniest of tears up there, but I'll take it, especially for the price I paid. A little bit of a squish over here, and then it has that Blockbuster sticker on the back. Asterisk price, pay what you want. Instruction manual, look at the instruction manual here. That is in really, really good condition. This actually looks like it was not even put into the rental boxes with the game. Super stiff, super clean. And then just by looking at the cartridge alone, I like that they never tried to take off the Blockbuster sticker because that protects the label. That was the whole point. These were custom made by Blockbuster to protect these labels. So not only do you know that this is 100% authentic, but these labels below the stickers are perfect. It looks like this game was honestly only rented a handful of times. There's no damage on here. It looks immaculate. Contacts are clean. So I'm actually super happy that Daikatana has these Blockbuster stickers on it because the price I paid was unheard of, and everything is crispy, no sun fading. Super happy about that. We did it. We got another top 5. What are the top 5 holy grails for the Nintendo 64 Gadget God? You'll see. I mean, ask me in the comments below or something. Actually, I'm like afraid to say it out loud because I'm afraid the prices will drive up on eBay or something. People just looking for holy grails to be jerks and resell them or something. I want them. I want to put them in plastic cases and put them in my museum. So, Daikatana, not a very good game, but this is one of the top 5 holy grails complete in box. Insanely happy to have that. Yes. Throw your hands up in the air. And you know what, everyone? In all seriousness, I think I goofed and bought a second Turok Dinosaur Hunter. This is the only time that I've goofed and bought a second game because I do keep a very detailed log. But we got Turok again. So, and I did get it for that dirt cheap price. So because of that, now I got it as an extra trade. That's gonna go ahead and wrap it up for this episode of Complete Nintendo 64 Collection. Really appreciate all the thumbs up. If you guys got any questions or comments, put them down below. What are some of your favorite Nintendo 64 games? Put them down in the comments, let me know, because if I don't have it, then maybe I'm gonna make one of those games my next priority, because if I haven't played it and you're saying it's good, then I wanna play it. Put it on my agenda. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Click subscribe to join the Gadget God squad. And if you didn't know already, yeah, you. Right there on the other side of that screen. I'm the Gadget God. I do the research, so you don't have to. Thanks for watching, everybody. And get your holy grail today.